it's basically as critical and as essential as food.
Tambo says the EFF still plans to address network connectivity challenges in rural areas.
We still have to fight against high costs of data comparatively to other countries in the continent and in the world, and of course for network connectivity in rural areas as well. But it's a victory and a step in the right direction, and we're very pleased with that.
Gold's trading at $5,095.05 an ounce. The rand's at 16.03 to the dollar, at 21.94 to the pound, at 19.03 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $65.48 a barrel.
Well, at this stage, if you're in the Centurion area, Roy Skral, there's slow-moving traffic on Old Joberg Road. This is between Nomapier's Drive and the N14. There's also faulty traffic lights in Bryanston at Winnie Mandela Drive and Grosvenor in the Mother City. Looking good at this stage. Just look out for those faulty traffic lights in Bellville at Robert Sabuko and Belrail.
Look at your weather. A partly cloudy day in Gauteng with afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of 32 and 33 degrees. It's clear skies in the Mother City this afternoon, along with moderate southwesterly winds at a high of 28 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss Lesetja Senona has confirmed he knows criminally accused tender tycoon Vusmusi Kat Matlala and considers him a younger brother.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. You're with Mandy Wiener on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. On the show today, the head of the Hawks in KZN testifies at the Madlanga Commission. It's National Police Day. What is your trust relationship with the police? The EFF on the new rules for mobile data rollover. Kenny Kunene explains his issues with the Joberg Mayor's Rea Vaya decision. And Tshwane's struggle to locate Edwin Sodi. All of that over the next hour.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Report on 702 and Cape Talk with me, Mandy Wiener. Good to be with you today. How's that headline? It's like I almost said that on the radio, like a WTF moment. Like, what? You've got the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal speaking about how Kat Matlala, who is, like, we know who Kat Matlala is, considers him a younger brother. This just speaks to the proximity between police and organized crime and business and politicians in this country that I speak about so often. This is just a demonstration of that. Like, how do you have the head of the Hawks saying, I consider Kat Matlala to be my younger brother? Are they related? It's all a bit vague. And this also absolutely erodes our trust relationship with the police, right? And that's the question I have for you today, because it's National Police Day. And the point of National Police Day is to shine the spotlight on policing and give a human face to policing. And yes, absolutely, there are incredible police officers, people who are committed, who are doing their jobs properly. But what is your trust relationship with the police? And has the Madlanga Commission and the ad hoc inquiry affected that at all? How would you describe how you view the police? And have you had a good experience with the police, or do you distrust the police? Send me a WhatsApp voice note, 072 702 1702, 072 567 1567. Let's start with that inquiry in Pretoria. The KZN Hawks head, Major General Lesetja Senona, testifying there. He's been speaking about the Big Five cartel. He's been speaking about, as you heard in the news bulletin there, whether his wife and Kat Matlala are related because they share a surname. Let's go to Oren Singh, our reporter, covering that. Oren, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your time. We heard a clip in the EWN bulletin there about this lack of clarity and Senona refusing to explain whether his wife was related to Kat Matlala. Take us through that exchange.
Yes, good afternoon, Mandy. Essentially, Major General Lesetja Senona being probed and pushed to answer whether his wife is in fact related to Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, claiming that he had met Matlala in 2019 during his traditional wedding in Mamelodi. but refusing initially to say whether there is any sort of relation between the pair, as Matlala and his wife share the same surname. He claims that when he was introduced to Kat Matlala at his wedding, he was introduced by a relative of his wife who was dating Kat Matlala at that time. And then later, after much debate and being pushed by the evidence leader, Advocate Abdullah Hassim, he said he doesn't think there's a relation between his wife and Matlala, despite them sharing the surname. And I think the evidence leader here today, as well as the commissioners, weren't really happy with that answer, because surely you should know if your wife is related to someone, especially if that someone you got pretty close to them in the later months after his wedding, and even up until the time before Vusimuzi Kat Matlala's arrest and the raid on his property in December 6, 2024. Him and Major General Lesetja Sinona were in constant communication and talking about things even related to that 360 million rand police contract, which was eventually cancelled, that was awarded to Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. So definitely a relationship between Sinona and Matlala, and I think that relationship is coming under the spotlight now. We're yet to hear the evidence leader grill him on that a little bit more. He's still going through parts of his testimony, but I expect after lunch we're going to have him take a bit of that hot seat and have to answer the tough questions.
What else is he being asked about? What's the line of questioning? Because I understand there's some issues around tenders and all sorts of things.
Yeah, a lot around Vusimuzi Kat Matlala and the issue that Matlala had with that tender and the release of purchase orders. I think the one thing that Sinona has come out here to say today and made allegations of, which we haven't heard in the past of, Mandy, is that he claims that when Vusimuzi Kat Matlala was not getting purchase orders released by SAPS regarding this 360 million rand police tender or SAPS tender, he had arranged a meeting to meet with KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhonazi, and Major General Sinona accompanied Kat Matlala to Nhlanhla Mkhonazi's apartment in KZN in Durban, and they sat down and they spoke. And the allegation that Sinona puts on the table is that he heard that Nhlanhla Mkhonazi had told Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, I will put the investigation into the attempted murder case on hold. And that's the investigation that Matlala is facing in charges of attempted murder against his ex-girlfriend, Tebogo Tobojane. And Mkhonazi allegedly telling Matlala, I will put this investigation on hold if you can give up intel and information on the then Deputy National Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sabia. And I think this is quite pertinent, Mandy, because prior to all of this happening, prior to the Madlanga Commission, and even prior to Jeff Wick's News 24 articles really coming into the focus of everything that's happened since the Madlanga Commission has started, we picked up that there were issues and major tensions within SAPS's hierarchy pertaining directly to Nhlanhla Mkhonazi and Shadrack Sabia. And that's when we, as EWN, went and sat down with the pair on different occasions separately to try and understand what was going on. And I think one of the main issues that comes into play between both of them is this case of this alleged kidnapping kingpin, Ismail Nangi, which has also just come up now, and how both Nhlanhla Mkhonazi allegedly, as well as Shadrack Sabia and Kat Matlala, because Ismail Nangi and Kat Matlala lived in the same complex in Pretoria, Midstream Estates, how that case may have played into these tensions and this fallout between Nhlanhla Mkhonazi and Shadrack Sabia.
Oren, thank you very much. Oren Singh, EWN reporter. Sure, what a mess. And how do you keep track of who's who and who's in which camp? It really, you need diagrams for this. Well, let's listen in now. Major General Lesetja Sinona testifying. And I have to say, this is not relevant, I acknowledge, but he's wearing this like forest green safari suit. And I think if you're going to remember his testimony, hopefully it's for the content and not for what he's wearing. But it really is very striking. Let's take a listen in there. This feed is courtesy of Newsroom Africa.
Normally, these drugs will be stored at the Forensic Science Laboratory. Then I was advised by a brigadier in my office who is responsible for this type of investigations that There was a secure storage facility at our offices in Port Shepstone, offices with a strong room walk-in safe. Safes such as this are difficult to break into and are ideal for the storage of this type of scissors if we have this kind of challenges. I then recalled that the Port Shepstone offices had previously and safely stored a large quantity of mandrax and hashish compressed dagga. I have attached an article on the mandrax bust as Annexure S6. Due to the above, I agreed that the exhibits to be stored at the Port Shepstone offices, and then I have informed my supervisor at that stage, Lieutenant General Lebeya, about the incident and the storage. Lieutenant Colonel Preslow, the unit commander of that office, the acting actually, arranged for the exhibit to be stored in the strong room, walk-in safe, aside from the unit commander. Only Captain Leroux and Warrant Officer Van Lockenbeck and another one, Warrant Officer Pinar from that office, knew about the nature of the exhibits stored there. I want to go back to, or maybe when I finish at the end, I will talk to that S6.
So that's the testimony currently coming from Major General Lesetja Senona going through his statement there. I'm sure he's going to face some pretty robust questioning this afternoon. May says, "Hey, Mandy, did you really say WTF moment on the 12 p.m. news?" Finally, we're talking the same language. There's only one way to get the message through these days. I mean, I did say that. I didn't say the actual word. I used the acronym because sometimes you just like, how do you describe what is going on when you hear the head of the Hawks speaking about how he considers Kat Matlala to be his younger brother, and how does this affect your trust relationship with the police? I'm a believer that the Madlanga inquiry and the ad hoc committee are good things, because at least we're getting everything out in the open. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, but I think it's still going to have an erosion of our trust relationship and our confidence in the police. Is that your view on it? We'll chat to Ian Cameron, the chairperson of the Police Portfolio Committee, after the break.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Mandy, 702, listeners, and the producers. You know, this is really sad. When you listen to this Commission of Inquiry, you really shudder and say, this is why we've got such terrible service. Just listening to this Hawks guy, ask yourself, how did you get this job? Really, how did you get to that top position? You know, this is sad. Hey, cry, Mother Africa.
Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
From pioneering investments in the telecom sector to getting a foot in the door in the early days of private media, the Mineworkers Investment Company has always been on the lookout for new and innovative companies to advance South Africa as a nation, while building financial security for our country's mine workers and their families. As we end a year of looking back on 3 decades of incredible successes, we look forward to the next 3 decades and beyond. Join us as we celebrate 30 years of MIC.
Life keeps getting busier. Parenting, shopping, working, exercising, just surviving. With all of that, who has time for anything else? That's why Netcare introduces Netcare Appointmed. Just tell us what you need, a specialist, GP or dentist, and we'll search our nationwide network of 5,000 doctors and find an appointment with a doctor who best suits your needs and medical aid. That's Netcare Appointmed on the Netcare app.
The outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a man wearing his finest suit on his way to an interview. He's prepped 100 times, but he still has butterflies. The The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a potential lucky break that could change someone's life. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Mandy. With the head of Hawks and KZN saying he's friends with Matlala, what? His brother is like a big brother. Now it feels like we're all born in the wrong families. We all choose bad friends. None of us have rich friends or rich brothers. This is terrible, man. Must do a DNA test and call Nimrod and Gozi for Utata. Maybe I just may find a share father with this Matlala chap.
You need to choose your family better. It's all about connections. And this is the whole thing. It's all about relationships. And this one's a friend of this one. He's my friend, finished and Clar. I mean, it's got echoes of he's my friend, finished and Clar. No, we're just brothers. We're just friends. But there was no corruption. Promise you. No corruption happened. Didn't happen yet. We're doing each other favors because we're family. This is the refrain that we hear over and over. We were hoping to speak to Ian Cameron, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police on National Police Day. He's still in the ad hoc inquiry because that's also happening today. So let's check in to see what's happening at the ad hoc inquiry into policing. Babalo Ndenze, EWN reporter, joining us. Babalo, it's a day for the experts and the NGOs and the Chapter 9 organizations today.
Yes, indeed, Mandy. Civil society, members of the public, as well as, the legal fraternity. And currently, or the first presenter, the first submission was Advocate Paul Hoffman, that a lot of us are familiar with, from Accountability Now. And his main submission was, based on the Glenister 2 judgment, Moseneke and Cameron, the majority judgment by those two justices that basically said, the law demands a body outside of executive control to deal effectively with corruption. And he says, that decision by the court should have been transferred into law by the previous parliament, the sixth parliament, but that never happened. They were ordered to consider this, and put it into the statute books of the country within 18 months of that judgment being handed down. So he's still pushing for this independent body. He's also made a submission basically referencing another recommendation by Tennis Baitenbach. She's a member of the committee, but she has previously, I think last year or the year before that, had called for a Chapter 9 institution to be set up, to deal with crime, quite similar to the public protector, that will be governed under the same chapter in the Constitution to give it that level of independence. So there's really this call for greater independence. There's no NPA is not an independent body according to the submission by Accountability Now. And, so he's made these two basically important points about independence, as well as, another organization, the African Policing Civilian Oversight Forum. Also they're giving their input and also basically focusing on this issue around independence. And it looks like, most of these submissions that we expect from civil society. I know Country South Africa is also up for it, as well as the Institute for Security Studies. They might be different and come with different recommendations on what can be done.
Right.
But it looks like, there's a really deep call for greater independence in corruption fighting.
Babalo, thank you very much. Babalo Ndenze, EWN reporter, speaking to us there. So that's the Madlanga inquiry and the ad hoc committee currently underway. I've been asking you on National Police Day, what is your trust relationship with the police? Barry says, good afternoon. Hope you're well. Thank you. When you do see police or law enforcement, they're usually on WhatsApp or standing in a group talking. We need foot patrols. Sue says, if you, Mandy, are confused, that absolutely validates me. It's just difficult to keep track of who's who in the zoo when it comes to into the inquiries and who's testifying. But the big standout for me is this proximity, how close the relationships are between senior ranking police officials and organized crime bosses, politicians, and business people. It's all very, very cozy.
702. Mandy Wiener.
Weekdays, 12 to 1 p.m.
An announcement yesterday by the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, ICASA, about the rollover of unused prepaid data and airtime. So for a long time in South Africa, you'd lose your airtime, your prepaid data. It would expire at the end of the month. So now what they've done is they've amended the end user and subscriber service charter regulations. So in short, mobile network operators will now have to roll over your unused data or your SMS or voice bundles at the end of their validity period, rather than allowing them to expire and be forfeited. The EFF is claiming a victory here. Sanao Tambo, EFF MP and national spokesperson, joins us. Sanao, good afternoon to you. This is something the EFF has been working hard on, both behind the scenes and voicing as well.
Hello?
Sanao, are you with us?
Yes, yes, you. Afternoon to your listeners.
Afternoon. This issue is something that the EFF has been working hard on behind the scenes, speaking to mobile operators, but also calling on ICASA to do.
Absolutely. So since the beginning of early last year, we met with MTN at our offices to try to get an understanding of what exactly informs the logic of the expiration of data, and they didn't really give us any certain answer other than saying it's generally industry practice. So we took it upon ourselves, and from that point in time, to request that the Portfolio Committee of Communications and Digital Technology summon all the mobile network operators to come and account to Parliament in what became a famous meeting last June or July, where we probed all of them, and they were unable as well to give a valid reason outside of that. It's part and parcel of their profit maximization processes. So we've been applying this pressure on the mobile network operators, but also on ICASA, because our understanding of it is that it's an exploitative practice. It's one that takes advantage of consumers. It's one that's in contravention of the Consumer Protection Act, Section 63 in particular, that when you bought a voucher, it should be valid and roll over consecutive periods. And we're glad that ICASA has been able to accept our logic. And for us, it's a victory not only for the EFF, but a victory for constitutional democracy, which ensures that we all have a right to access to information. And the expiry of data and airtime undermines that constitutional right now.
And that's the point I was about to ask you, is that you've argued this on constitutional grounds, that all South Africans should be entitled, or it is a right to access information.
Yes, that's been our primary argument. It's been a constitutional one, but also the Consumer Protection Act also mandates that all of these vouchers should roll over much longer periods than what is being mandated now in the new regulations which have been set by ICASA. So it stipulates almost 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. So the current stipulation by ICASA is one that we're going to continue to apply pressure to them on, because they say it should roll over for over a month period once it's expired at the end of the month. But that is in contravention of the Consumer Protection Act as it stands. So as much as we know that this is a victory and a step in the right direction to ensure that access to information as a constitutional right is protected, we know there's much more work to do. We have to do work to ensure there's longer rollover periods in line with existing legislation, do more work to ensure that the high cost of data are decreased as well, but do more work to ensure that people in rural areas have access to connectivity and digital connectivity, because it's at the center of human life. You can't do a job, you can't study, you can't communicate with anyone without having data or airtime. So a lot of work still needs to be done, but this is a victory nonetheless.
As you mentioned, the cost of data is still very prohibitive in the country. You've had these engagements with the mobile operators. How would you describe your relationship going forward, and are they receptive?
Look, I think it's a professional one. It's a cordial one. They've obviously presented their resistance and what can also be deemed as veiled threats. I mean, they have also stated to us in those meetings that if we're going to do away with expirations of data, then they would have to put in measures to increase costs of data in itself. And I think that is a sort of a blackmail type of logic, because it's not how relationships between consumers and mobile network operators should be. And I would like to caution South Africans as well to be aware that the long period that the ICASA is saying this must be implemented in 12 months leaves room for litigation, for review by these mobile network operators to a decision that is in protection of consumers. But it also leaves room for them to put in measures that not only increases the cost of data, but might also institute regimes that makes data deplete faster. So we're all going to need to be vigilant. We're all going to need to cooperate together as legislatures, as society, to ensure that we're vigilant that these mobile network operators don't try to use this opportunity to either increase cost of data, make data deplete faster, and take advantage of our people, or subvert the regulation that has been now put in place to protect ordinary people.
So now, thank you very much. Sanawa Tumble, EFF MP, national spokesperson, reacting there to that decision by ICASA on the mobile data rollover. 12:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Mandy. Good afternoon. We begin in KwaZulu-Natal, where civic organization March leader Jacinta Ngobese Zuma has been charged with public violence linked to the protests at the Addington Primary School in Durban. Since schools reopened, the organization, together with MK Party supporters and Operation Dudula, held a number of demonstrations at the school. They were demanding space for unregistered children who are South African by birth, alleging the school has many foreign nationals. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says more than 261,000 animals have now been affected with foot and mouth outbreak in the Gauteng province. Gauteng is among the worst affected provinces alongside KwaZulu-Natal, Free State and the Northwest are among the worst affected. Lesufi and Gauteng Agriculture MEC Vuyiswa Ramakgopa briefed the media this morning on the province's intervention plan to tackle the spread of the highly contagious disease among livestock. And in Russia, a fire has broken out at an unlicensed migrant hostel in Moscow. According to news reports in the country, the dead were 2 men and 2 women of Cuban descent. Hundreds of thousands of foreigners, many without legal status, are thought to live in Russia, some of whom live in migrant hostels that operate illegally. Those are the headlines. This Eyewitness News and more at 1 o'clock or as it happens.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Tolagile Mganga. Elena Svitolina has advanced to her first Australian Open semi-final after beating Coco Gauff in just 59 minutes. Her win has set up a last 4 showdown with Irina Sabalenka, who beat Iva Djokic 6-3 and 6-love.
Yeah, the second set, I felt like I have to step in and put even more pressure on her because I can see that she's young, she's hungry, and I could tell during the match that no matter what the score, she's still going to be there trying to figure her way. And yeah, I knew that I have to step in and show the level and the class. And I think it really helped me kind of like just go for my shots and helped me to trust my game. And yeah, that was definitely amazing performance in the second set.
Shame, Coco got absolutely routed. It was bad. What was your prediction again?
It was Coco and Carlos. So
Carlos just won the first set against
maybe
Domino.
the other one will win. I always hope for Coco, but she just in the other slams.
She's bad. When she's great, she's great.
Unfortunately. Mamelodi Sundowns have condemned the behavior of supporters who threw liquid over sporting director Fleming Berg, as well as threatened coach Miguel Cardoso after Friday's draw with Al Hilal in the CAF Champions League. The incident at Loftus Stadium were in the wake of frustration from fans after they were held to a 2-2 draw. Berg and Cardoso have been the subject of previous fan dissatisfaction, with banners calling for their dismissal previously being displayed earlier in the season. On the pitch, the Brazilians will be looking to extend their lead at the top of the Betway Premiership standings with a victory over Skokune United tonight. While for Eric Tinkler, he's called on his team to throw a spanner in the works as they also look to keep alive their championship charge.
Are we ahead of our targets? There's the possibility of us achieving 54 points if we have obviously a second round, same as we've had in the first. But in my view, we were at the half break, we were at least 6 points shy of where we should have been, which then would mean we would have been on 31 points, top of the league. And the bonuses are the win against Pirates and the win against Chiefs.
Tola Gilimganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage in Centurion, Roy Hayes Kral, there's slow-moving traffic. This is on Old Joberg Road between Nalmapiers Drive and the N14. Also heading towards Bedfordview. Expect some delays. This is in Edenvale on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange, and there's also faulty traffic lights in Kyalami at the R55 and Kyalami Boulevard in the Mother City. Free-flowing traffic at this stage, and no issues, no accidents have been reported. Just look out for those faulty traffic lights in Bellville at Robert Sobukwe and Bellrel. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Attention pool owners, Chamberlain has the best deal ever. HDH 8kg granular chlorine for 349 Rand. Yes, HDH 8kg, only 349 Rand. Join us from the 5th of January to the 1st of February for Gauteng's best pool care deals. Hurry into your nearest Chamberlain today and get yours before they're gone. Limited stock, collection only, while the promotion lasts. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
If you think you cannot afford a lawyer, think again. Clientele Legal has made professional legal services affordable. You receive up to 745,000 Rand worth of legal services per year. Our range of plans include cover for you, your spouse, children, and extended family. Plans include cover for civil, criminal, and labor-related matters. Whether it's protection orders, gender-based violence, uncontested divorce, or poor service, your Clientele Legal lawyer will be there to assist you. Our services are convenient. Simply pick up the phone and call your lawyer or send us an email and we'll get back to you. All plans include a bail benefit of up to 5,000 Rand and we'll go to the police station and pay it for you. Plus, Clientele Legal offers you 24-hour telephonic legal advice. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Supercharge your business productivity with Moloi Innovative Solutions. We bring the most highly customized and cost-effective IT infrastructure to your fingertips. Whether it's desktop and server support, cloud services or hardware, software and printer procurement, our dynamic team makes sure that you have the tech that resonates with you. Moloi Innovative Solutions. Experience at its best. Get to moloiis.co.za for more.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Hello, Mandy Wiener, Ty here from the city of Tshwane. Hey. These people are pathetic and ridiculous all at the same time. They take us for fools, bloody criminals. Have a lovely one. Cheers.
Andy, I would also like to know if that applies to Telkom data contract, where I get an 80 gig contract per month. I pay 220 Rand or something for it. And then it rolls over to the next month. But then if there's like 150 gigs left over a 2-month period, then whoops, the next month it's gone. It's very unfair. I pay for it. I should even be allowed to share some of that data with less privileged people. Why do I pay for something and then I don't get the full use of it? It's my money, it's my data, and it should be mine to do with it what I want to also.
You look, I'm not an expert in everything, so I don't actually know the answer to that question, but I would assume so, because, and if you've been following the story, maybe you know and can help me, but I would assume so, because it should apply to all mobile data operators. And this is the point the EFF was making, was that for so long in this country, you're paying for the data, you own the data, and then you have to lose it, you relinquish it, it gets wiped out because of the expiry date. But maybe there's a counter argument from the mobile operators, T's and C's, what if you don't use them, it can't be for posterity, forever. But I don't have the answer to that exact question. I assume it applies to Telkom as well.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
There's a bit of a standoff brewing around the Ria Vaya feeder bus services in Soweto, Ria Vaya in general. So the Joberg MMC for Roads and Transport, Kenny Kunene, accusing the mayor, Dada Morero, of overstepping his authority by suspending the Ria Vaya operations. There is a memo that a number of media organizations are reporting on, dated the 23rd of January, that was sent to the mayor's office, in which Kenny Kunene says that the mayor's decision to suspend the feeder buses was never tabled before the mayoral committee. Dada Morero has responded, saying this is not the case. There was communication. But let's speak to Kenny Kunene, who is the Joberg MMC of Transport, to try and understand where we are on this. MMC, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Mandy, and good afternoon.
So where are we on the situation at the moment? You confirm that you have written to the mayor. You say that he has overstepped here. What is your argument?
Mandy, my argument is that I met with the taxi association, We were in the process. I was explaining to them what they already know. And they decided that they want to see the mayor, which I then informed the mayor. The mayor invited us to a meeting. And in that meeting, the mayor made a decision after we explained what we have been explaining. The mayor said, let us suspend the feeder buses, and the taxi association must then go and put in writing what they expect. It was made clear to the mayor the financial implications. As we speak, that decision is costing the city 1.9 million for Trans per week and 400,000 for the Tsamaiso per week. That's what it is costing the residents of Johannesburg, paying for a service that they are not using. It is in the contract of Boca. That financial implication was made clear to the mayor. The legal implications were made clear to the mayor, the contractual implications and operational implications. But what is more important, the mayor was informed that this is the competency of national transport and national treasury. But it went through a parliamentary process. So to stop the feeder buses cannot be the decision of the mayor. It must be the decision of national transport. He then said, we must go and inform national transport and treasury of his decision. The officials at transport then went to meet with National Department of Transport, and they were very clear. The mayor has no authority over this operation except to facilitate and implement as the city. And therefore, the mayor is punching above his pay grade.
The issue, Kenny, is that the mayor seems to have is the fact that you're ventilating this all in public. I mean, technically, would you describe him as your boss? I mean, you're the MMC. He appoints the mayoral committee. Is this something that should be ventilated in public like this?
Yes, because the public is complaining to me, and some of the public, some of the residents of Johannesburg are saying, I am the one that stopped the feeder buses. So in the interest of transparency, accountability, and honesty, which we are expected to do as government officials, I then decided to clear this matter by going public, explaining to the people that I account to and that I account for, to say to them, this is the truth. The matter is not, I did not stop the feeder buses. I launched 45 feeder buses, but this is what has happened. The mayor then said, I must provide memos, I must provide evidence that he stopped the feeder buses unilaterally. And I responded to him. I explained why I went to the public, why I went public, but I also provided that evidence, the memos that I've written to him, that I have signed with the ED of Transport, the Executive Director of Transport. I showed the memos that the acting city manager wrote to him, highlighting the legal opinion that said that there's going to be financial and contractual implications, legal implications. You cannot suspend the buses forever. He suspended in February, and in September, the acting city manager, Kiba Kekana, wrote to him after the Executive Director of Transport escalated this matter to him. So I provided all that evidence to him. He has not come back to me since I sent that response on Sunday. So the mayor knows that this is the truth. I don't know why he's not taking responsibility for it. I don't know why he goes and tells some people who have absolutely no clue about what is happening in the city to go and call a press conference and say, I stopped the feeder buses. How do I stop the feeder buses when I launched them? I repeat, the mayor...
Is he not going to fire you for this?
The Patriotic Alliance that deployed me has a coalition agreement with the African National Congress that deployed him. If he has a problem with me, he must go and talk to the Patriotic Alliance. He is there as a deployee of the ANC. I'm there as a deployee of Patriotic Alliance.
But he could still remove you technically as an MMC, and then the Patriotic Alliance could send somebody else, or would you leave the coalition over this?
The Patriotic Alliance will decide. He can complain to the Patriotic Alliance. But how do you complain about a man who is informing the public about the truth? If you are then saying that is a problem, it means also have a problem with whistleblowers. That's why we do not have whistleblowers in this country, and those that are there are victimized. Because when people go public with the truth, I am clearing my name, I'm clearing my department, and I have provided that evidence, Mandy. National Transport, call them. They will tell you they met with the executive directors from City of Johannesburg Transport on this matter, and they informed them of the mayor's decision. The evidence is there.
Can you and the mayor not just sit down and talk about this?
How do you talk to a man who does not listen to your advice? A man who does not listen to expert advice and technical advice. How do you talk to him? I don't have a problem talking to him, but I'm going to tell him the same thing that I've been telling him. Let the feeder buses start to run. You are causing the city financial implications for a service that they are not getting. The city is paying over 2 million per week for a service that they are not getting because of this decision. We've got problems of revenue collection. Yet the mayor has stopped revenue collection. Feeder buses account for 60% of revenue of Rea Vaya, of BRT. In 1A and 1B. It accounts for 60%. So he has taken 60% away of the revenue that was coming into the city. Yet we are saying we are not collecting enough revenue.
Is this is it not better what he's doing to try and sort out the system with the taxi drivers and any kind of beneficiation that might be taking place here? Is it not better to put it on pause to try and sort that all out? Is that not what the mayor is trying to do?
Mandy, should we solve issues by breaking the law? This is a parliamentary process. This is legislated. It's gazetted, and it has been happening. This thing has been happening. Him having these talks of suspension has actually created a bigger problem. The feeder buses have been there. They have been operating. The taxi associations never had problems. It is the model of the feeder buses. Yes, at the beginning when they came, there was some pushback, but once they understood that they form part of the BRT system, everything stopped.
Kenny, thank you very much. Kenny Kunene, Johannesburg MMC of Transport, explaining his side. I think it's important that we hear from Dada Morero on this as well, from the mayor to respond to that. We'll put in a request for him to come and respond as well. But that's the argument from Kenny Kunene, the MMC, saying that the mayor overstepped here. Morero has warned that publicly blaming fellow executives of the mayoral committee without prior engagement undermines collective accountability. At the end of the day, it's the people of the city that are being impacted by this.
702. Mandy Wiener.
Weekdays 12 to 1 p.m.
From Joberg to Tshwane now. You may have seen reports over the weekend, I think it was in the Sunday Times, I could be wrong, about trying to locate Edwin Sodi, how the city of Tshwane has struggled to find Edwin Sodi, and the mayor's spokesperson, Mayor Nasipi Moya's spokesperson, saying that they haven't been able to locate him. DA Tshwane mayoral candidate Celia Brink has a suggestion. He says that the DA is willing to pay a tracing agent to go and find Edwin Sodi. Celia, good afternoon to you. What is the DA offering to do here?
Good afternoon, Mandy. We have already paid that tracing agent to locate Edwin Sodi. And the reason for that is to eliminate any further excuses why the city of Tshwane cannot serve a notice on him, to which he must respond as to why he should not be blacklisted from doing business with the state. This process was initiated when I was the mayor in 2024, and we understand that you have to follow a process. You have to give Sodi and his associates an opportunity to say why they did not mess up the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant, and only then can you put it before National Treasury. But the excuses and the delays have been, quite frankly, unreasonable and ridiculous. And we want to eliminate any further excuses and provide the city with all of the information they need, because as we speak, this blacklisting application, 2.5 years after the fact, has still not been lodged with National Treasury.
Do we know why? I mean, I understand that that they have explained to a parliamentary committee about this not being submitted to National Treasury. Why is it taking so long?
So the excuses keep on changing. I understand full well you have to give Sodi and his associates an opportunity to respond. That's the rules of natural justice. But these are directors of companies that are listed with the CIPC. They've got registered addresses. Edwin Sodi has appeared before the Zondo Commission. In fact, he's a corruption accused. So it's really not that difficult to find his address and deliver the notice. I wrote to the city in May last year asking what the progress was with this application to Treasury, and they gave me the written assurance that everything was fine, but the excuses keep on changing. So my fear now is if this takes any longer, it might start prejudicing the application to have Sodi and his associates and Blackhead Consulting prohibited from doing business with government. And I hope that the reporting by Sunday Times and the response by the mayor, or the compelled response, now puts some pressure on the city to finish this and to get justice for the people of Hammanskraal.
Celia, thank you very much. Celia Sprung, DA Tshwane mayoral candidate, speaking to us there about the search for Edwin Sodi.
At Isuzu, we know every delivery, every kilometer, and every load is building something bigger. This truck month, set your business up for success with special deals across the Isuzu N and F-Series ranges. Don't get left behind. Speak to your Isuzu truck specialist or call 08600 Isuzu and secure your truck month deal today. Isuzu, with you for the long run. T's and C's apply.
So let me get this straight. You found a tertiary institution.
Yup, Emirates.
That offers a high-performance education.
Yes.
And uses real-world case studies in its course material.
Uh-huh.
Lets you develop your own ideas on how to solve real-world problems.
Yeah, well, yes.
All so you can make your mark in the working world from day one.
Indeed.
But you haven't registered yet.
Yes. No.
Unbelievable. Register at emirates.ac.za.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Emirates is an educational brand of the Independent Institute of Education.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing two generations together. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Afternoon, Mandy. This is pure grandstanding by Kenny Kunene. Pure grandstanding. And this is what happens when you take a socialite and put them into politics and expect them to put service delivery before their ego. That's not going to happen. So this public spat between him and Dada, it is ego, nothing else.
Good afternoon, Mandy. This is Selma from Roodepoort. I have a feeling that Tata Morero is probably getting a backhander from the taxi associations for stopping the buses. What do you think? Thanks for a lovely show. Bye.
It's so interesting. I've got messages from people saying that, maybe Dada Morero is benefiting from the taxi industry. Maybe Kenny Kunene is benefiting. Mdu says, hi, Mandy. Kenny is a bloody liar. He's a deal guy. The feeder buses were part of his deal, and he got non-compliant buses from the Kaba brothers. He brought us a business rescue company that has fired a lot of people. Don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. Mandy, the city of Tshwane should ask Paul Mashatile where Edwin Sodi, his friend, is hiding, in inverted commas. And then, well done to Kenny Kunene, PA representative in Joberg, for exposing this issue to the public. We're sick and tired of this official hiding information from the public. The question why Dada Morero decided to suspend the service of this bus from Soweto and why the public must keep paying their service. Who knows what to believe in this country. We've heard from Kenny Kunene. He's explained it. I'm quite keen to hear from Dada Morero as well about what is going on with that Ria Vaya bus situation.
702.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
The Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi and the MEC for Agriculture and Rural Development, Vuyiswa Ramakgopa, today holding a briefing on the provincial-wide intervention addressing the outbreak and the impact of foot and mouth disease. Let's speak now to the MEC who joins us to talk about these interventions. MEC Ramakgopa, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Afternoon, Mandy. Thank you for having me.
We know that there's been interventions at a national level. At provincial level, what are you doing?
Thanks, Mandy. So today we announced the provincial FMD rapid response approach, which effectively seeks to, it's informed, of course, by the national strategy, but it seeks to really put some practical implementation steps in place to roll out a provincial-wide initiative to curb the spread of FMD. And it's a cross-sectoral approach which brings in different arms of government, different institutions, ranging from law enforcement institutions, different spheres of government, including the local municipalities, and really leverages the full resource base in terms of human resources available through the Department of COGTA, Department of Community Safety, and other involved departments. There is also another key element, which is around communication and stakeholder communication, which we have found really to be a challenge that we are really looking to overcome. So one of the key interventions is also the establishment of a multi-stakeholder consultative forum, so that as we battle the scourge of FMD, we can actually have a dedicated platform to engage with the industry on an ongoing basis, gather inputs, and of course share reliable information so we can curb misinformation.
Obviously that collaboration so important, that communication. We've heard from a number of farmers telling us about the extent to which they've been impacted by this. What kind of support would you be offering to the farmers?
The challenge, Mandy, is that we obviously have resource constraints in terms of it's not really in government's hands to be able to compensate farmers at this point. However, what we are trying to do is minimize losses. If we can roll out the mass vaccination campaign, if we can make sure that we contain the spread, we can hopefully ensure that farmers suffer minimal damage or minimal disruption to their businesses. I mean, one of the key issues is actually around trade and the ability to trade in their livestock, and that is one of the areas that we're focusing on, through the containment measures, enforcing of quarantines, and making sure that those who are trading safely, and that those who are vaccinated are not unfairly prejudiced when they are looking to trade.
And going forward, just in terms of what the outlook is in terms of foot and mouth, how hopeful are you about this coordinated response and the strategic interventions?
Well, look, I think it's necessary, and in reality, we will not be able to arrest the outbreak of FMD if we don't get all hands on deck. So, I mean, Gauteng has multiple economies and different communities, from traditional rural peri-urban communities to some of the most sophisticated beef and livestock farmers in the country. So we have to be able to roll out an approach that brings everyone around the table, where we're able to have science-led, pragmatic interventions, and more importantly, where we can use the various institutions, like I'm saying, law enforcement, to actually play the part of helping us to curb the illegal movement of livestock. And I'm hoping, as a net effect of that, we might even start to deal with some of the other issues, such as stock theft and illegal movement of animals. So I think we are optimistic that this intervention will yield some positive outcomes, but at the end of the day, we also rely, on national government and on the procurement of vaccines to really help us catalyze this approach.
Vuyiswa Ramakgopa, Gauteng MEC of Agriculture and Rural Development, thank you very much speaking to us there about that briefing taking place today, along with the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, about the province-wide intervention aimed at addressing the outbreak of foot and mouth disease.
The Midday Report.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to keep watching what's happening at the Madlanga inquiry. They've just broken for lunch, it seems. The Hawks head, Major General Lesetja Senona, has been testifying there about his brother-like relationship with Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. I'm sure he's going to face a lot of questions about that and that proximity that he has to Kat Matlala, also where he fits into this very confusing web of policing and who's in which camp. So keep watching that one. And sure, I think it's going to be fascinating this afternoon. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk, brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. It's 1 o'clock.
This is EWN.
KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss tells Madlanga inquiry he considers murder accused Matlala as a relative, and more than 261,000 animals affected by foot and mouth outbreak in Gauteng. Good afternoon.